It's the Dap It Up podcast. Dray the Spectre, along with my fellow host, the JRPG connoisseur,
The myth, the legend, Gunnm.
and the beneficent businessman himself.
I am Beet. This is Poe.
And this is my favorite podcast on the internet. Right
Let's go.
here, we'll cover some of the latest, greatest news in gaming, including Xbox's case against the FTC, which may have just gotten extended. And later on, we talk about when games become movies. How long is too long for a cutscene? Before we do all that, though, Gunnm, what's up with you?
It's been a bit of a turbulent week. So at least at work anyway. So I've had to work a couple doubles. So it hasn't been fun. And then on top
That's
of that,
like when people say double quarter pounder. And I understand, not to cut you off,
yeah,
that it's because it's two patties. But I'm like, a double quarter pound is a half pound. You did a couple doubles. So like,
It's a quad.
would that equate? It's a quad shift. Yeah. It just sounds weird to me when people say, I did two twos. I did two quarters. It's a half. Go on.
but yeah, it's been rough. Like people, especially when everyone decides to take their vacation all at the same time. So yeah, it's great. So that's been fun. So there's that. I did recently finish somehow Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of like not feeling well in the middle of all that too. So that's also the main reason why I haven't gotten really much done in Trails. But thankfully I did get Final Fantasy done. And that happened last night, so that was great. Other than that, like, been watching a little anime here and there, keeping up with what's, airing. But other than that, same old. Oh, well, I do got a project, little project with this PS5 I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna be putting this bad boy in there. So 2 terabytes. So I'm gonna do that and clean the fan, because that definitely needs to be clean. I haven't cleaned it since I got it back in 2021. So yeah, 2 years of buildup.
Clean mine too. Man, you don't play enough games to need that.
Man, you know where I keep my PS5? Like, I get so much dust in here.
No, I mean the what is that? An expansion drive you got?
Yeah, this is a M.2 drive.
Yeah.
SSD, yeah. So
Man, you don't play that many games. What you need that for?
it's already full. My PS5 is full.
Full of games you ain't playing?
I had to delete games
Oh,
for...
damn.
Look, I had to delete games just to install Trails into Reverie, so it's not bad.
Games you didn't play.
Oh my God. Okay.
You just be one of them boys sitting there collecting virtual dust.
My main problem is I have every single Trails game on my system, and I don't want to delete any of them. That's my problem.
Yeah, I do the same thing, honestly. But what about you, Beet? What's up?
Bro, I have had a surreal experience. So this week, someone saw fit after 2 dialogues to dump their entire tragic backstory on me, and I felt like I was in Mass Effect. I was just incredibly dot-eyed about it. I just gave the most general advice I possibly could. And this person wasn't like a friend.
Option.
I mean,
Yeah, I gave the middle option, bro.
I mean,
this person's not a
sometimes it
friend.
helps.
They're not an associate. They're a subordinate. So that was really fun to do.
Like sometimes like they need that general advice. You never know.
I mean, yeah, for sure, bro. But it was weird. I'm like, I don't feel like I've gotten the social link for this information I'm receiving. It's like if you went to social link 1, if I don't know everything about a character. but that was interesting. I've had a lot of call-ins, so I've had to work a lot of shifts of somebody else's job instead of doing my job. So that's been fun.
Yeah. I know how that
But been a rough week. I haven't done much other than play Diablo 4. Even though I'm still trying to get back into 14 and start Endwalker, which came out 2 years ago, just about, or a year ago. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I also have a cat who's attacking my hand. Or I'm not playing right now. I'll put you down. What's up with you?
In keeping with my pursuit of useful skills, I've been working on photography. Just trying to get better at camera angles, you know. I've been researching cameras and whatnot because I'm in this content creation game for real.
You.
You know, we talked about starting something for years, and now I'm finally on the grind. And that's pretty much been occupying whatever amount of my time isn't invested in working. And I guess I do view this as work as well. It's just more so than maybe anything else. It's something that I want to do. You know, like, because I'm the type of person who I like to monetize my hobbies so that work never feels like work. But there's always going to be certain tasks you have to handle that you like, at least until you're able to hire someone to do it for you. It's just part of that grind. But that's all I got going on. Let's get into the out this week section. Y'all know the drill. If you guess the fake game, you get a bonus point toward the bonus round at the end of the pod. Y'all are tied up right now, so whoever wins gets to decide, even though, I mean, I haven't been participating, you get to decide who plays what game before the next pod.
I would like to add a stipulation that whoever wins could also select you to pick a game instead.
Select who?
You.
Me? Instead?
You.
What do you mean? Oh, me to pick one?
They can cede their decision to you.
Oh.
Sure.
I haven't even thought about what I would want y'all to play, but we can do that. If you want to do it that way. It's up to y'all.
I think it's only fair.
I know what he wants me to play.
Shut up. Whoever wins has carte blanche. So yeah, add that stipulation at your own discretion. All right. July 11th, we had The Valiant. And then on July 12th, we had Mordhau and Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals. On July 13th, we had Manic Mechanics, Woodblock Simulator, Woodshop DLC, Testament, The Order of High Human. And then finally today, July 14th, we've got Exoprimal and Jagged Alliance 3. What's the fake one?
It's gotta be Woodblock, right?
I don't know, is it?
So what all was on that day? That's the day that stood out the most to me.
And let me say this, what y'all gotta start doing, if you pick one, pick one.
Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes Gunnm sometimes Gunnm will like wait and you'll pick one and then he'll say it's either this or that, and then he'll just pick whatever you pick, which 95% of the time is wrong.
That's not true. I call cap.
So what was for that day? For the day that Woodblock is on, what are the games released that day? Because that's the day that's the most suspect.
Mechanics and Testament, The Order of High Human.
I say it's Manic Mechanic.
I'm gonna go Woodblock.
Woodblock Simulator, Woodshop DLC was the fake one.
Let's go!
Finally, people getting on the board. Shoot. I know y'all both got it last week.
Yeah.
But you do get one bonus point.
Wouldn't that mean he technically wins?
I won, bro.
No, we got a bonus round at the end still.
Damn.
But that point is going to carry forward, so.
Does that
You'll
mean we
thank
would tie
yourself.
again?
Well, no. So, the bonus round for people who don't usually watch is we do little games. We throw them in at the very end. Sometimes we want to guess Metacritic scores. Sometimes we guess the lyrics to theme songs from anime. This time, I'm not going to tell you what you guys are doing, just so you can't prepare in secret. But you have the opportunity to earn, say, 5 or 6 points. So we're just going to transition into that knowing that Beet has a point already.
Okay.
That's how it's going to work.
Excellent.
Going forward as well. But let's get into some news, y'all. So guess what?
Chicken butt.
A single-player Black Panther game is in development.
Cool.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, it was about time, right? Cliffhanger Games, a new AAA studio based in Seattle, in collaboration with Marvel Games, is at the head of this project.
This is a
Studio
brand new
head.
studio?
Is it? Yeah, it says so. According to Game Informer, it's a new studio.
Okay.
But yep, at the lead of the project is Kevin Stevens, who says, "We're dedicated to delivering fans a definitive and authentic Black Panther experience, giving them more agency and control over their narrative than they have ever experienced in a story-driven video game." Wow. Wakanda is a rich superhero sandbox, and our mission is to develop an epic world for players who love Black Panther and want to explore the world of Wakanda as much as we do. See, what stuck out to me about that was agency and control over their narrative.
Guessing it's
You know,
a branching paths type game.
Or, see, that's the best case scenario. Or it's like Uncharted 4, where you just have needless dialogue trees, like 4 options of stuff you could say, like Horizon.
Yeah.
That's
Honestly,
what I
bro,
visualized.
the most suspect thing about this is the dude's name. Was it Kevin Stevens? Sounds made up. This whole game sounds made up.
All right.
It's not.
All I have to say is don't fuck it
I
up.
know. I don't trust a man named Kevin Stevens.
It's Black Panther. It's a huge franchise now. A lot of people are invested in it. Don't fuck it up.
I'm surprised they haven't made one already.
I am too.
Me too.
But when did the first Black Panther movie come out?
You asking me?
Something.
Yeah. Thanks for putting me on the spot with that one.
In the
Let's
2010s. It was right before
It definitely
Infinity War.
was 2018.
2018.
Yeah, it was right before Infinity War. It was that and then Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like right after that movie, they didn't start like trying to find a developer to make a game about it. Like Black Panther's huge now.
So I imagine 6+ years later, it finally comes to fruition.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're only just
To be fair,
now
we haven't had a
starting.
good Iron Man game yet either.
No, I mean we had
That's
a
true.
We had
decent one, but not like nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
It was okay.
hmm
Just
It
give
was very Xbox demo disc.
Yeah, it's
Just-
incredibly
just-
Xbox type of
just give it to Insomniac.
I agree. Let them
They got too
make
much going
everything.
on.
Nah, let them make all of the Marvel games.
Nah, because we ain't even seen Wolverine
They can
yet.
handle 3
Because
Marvel
here's my
games.
I'm gonna say what nobody else is saying. Because there can never be too many superhero games, I think, as long as they're done well.
Mm.
We haven't even seen gameplay of Wolverine, because if gameplay of Wolverine is a carbon copy of Spider-Man, but with snick claws, then I'm gonna start to be like, what are y'all doing here? So I have to see what's
different. It might be a little different.
I'm
It might
sure.
be. It might have some platinum isms to it. Who knows?
I mean,
I
I'm sure
think-
it'll be different, bro. But
Even if it was just Spider-Man with snicks, bro, like that's fine. I don't care. I wouldn't be affected.
just blood everywhere.
Spider-Man's great.
I'll take it.
Spider-Man's great. Yeah, add some gore to it. I'm good.
yeah,
Honestly,
y'all
the
keep
best-
same energy when it's something you don't like.
But the bar for Wolverine games is pretty high with the X-Men Origins Wolverine game. That game was
That was great.
great.
Yeah, I wouldn't
It was
just
better
like,
than the
cookie
movie.
cutter. I wouldn't just cookie cutter give it to Insomniac just because they make good games and Spider-Man was great. But I'd consider, because what are we saying? What are we talking about? Iron Man?
Iron Man.
The idea of an Iron Man game being
I want that.
I'd almost say Sucker Punch based on the success.
No,
of
I'd agree.
Infamous.
I
Yeah.
agree, and they do the floating and
Yeah.
the traversal mechanics pretty well. I would like to see a Doctor Strange game. I'm a huge fan of Doctor Strange. I like the mechanics. I like the way it looks.
That'd be a.
I mean, I know it's weird. It's a
It would
weird
not
choice.
sell.
that would be an undertaking, and yeah, I don't know if that would sell.
I'd play it. To your credit, I would play it, bro, but that would not sell. They'd be like, Doctor Strange, ugh.
I think it would. I think if it was fire, bro, it would sell.
How'd the movies do?
They did pretty well. They weren't bad movies.
No,
They
I
were-
didn't ask
Oh,
how
you
they
talking
were.
about-
I said how'd they do.
They did well.
Look it up. I'm curious.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't
I'll
want
look
you
it
to just say that off the top of your head. We free for him right now.
I don't
Okay,
know.
Doctor Strange. Box office.
I don't know.
So OG Doctor Strange
Relative
made
to the other Marvel
I
movies.
just
of
don't
course.
think Doctor Strange has the same level of star power compared to the other.
It doesn't have the
heroes.
marketability.
I don't
agree.
think so.
So let's see. It made
It's not that
so
I
the
wouldn't
original.
play it.
Yeah.
The
me neither.
original
It's just-
Doctor Strange made
He doesn't have that same appeal as like an Iron
$677 million, and then Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness made almost $1 billion at $955.8 million.
Okay.
Man.
And do you see where that stands on the scale of Marvel movies?
I'm gonna look up the Marvel box office next.
And while you do that, yeah, I'd say I am looking forward to this Black Panther game. I mean, funny enough, I'm not really a huge Black Panther fan, but I like superhero games, and it's a rich universe. So, hey man, make more Marvel games. I'm with it.
So OG Doctor Strange is pretty low on like its lifetime gross,
Yeah,
but Multiverse of Madness is number 9.
number 9 out of
Number
like a
9.
million. So
Out of
that's
like a
not
million.
low.
No, that's not low at all. I think there's interest for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I
I
think
really do.
there's.
I think you are one of the only people I know who cares about Doctor Strange, and I think that kind of speaks to where he
Yeah.
stands on the tier list.
I think he's.
But
a
I don't
cool
think it's
hero.
bad.
He's a cool.
That's not
hero,
what we saying.
Y'all hate
Right.
it, bro.
But
We not
He's
hating.
not-
It's just you have
Yeah.
bad taste.
Nah, y'all hate
You know.
confirmed haters, confirmed opposition in this
Right.
in this
Hey,
podcast.
hey, do you remember what he was hating on? What was it? Was that last week or the week before? Oh, the Nintendo Direct that he didn't.
Oh,
even
yeah.
watch.
oh yeah,
I
But
didn't
had
even
nothing
watch
but
it.
negative stuff to say.
Nothing but negative stuff.
But then
Y'all didn't even
someone
play this
gives-
hypothetical game.
Someone gives we not talking about the game. We talk about Doctor Strange. Oh, Doctor Strange game. that
Yeah.
We said we would play, you mean?
Bro.
We ain't hating. We saying people don't care about Doctor Strange like they care about Black Panther and Iron Man.
yeah, it's just the truth.
Uh,
Yeah.
It's like, don't make us have to roast now. We being nice. We being nice, bruh.
Like,
What you gonna do in your Doctor Strange
bro.
game? Make portals?
Yeah.
Is
you
it gonna
can
be
do
a
that.
VR Portal clone?
No.
It's gonna be like Portal
That'd be
2.5?
terrible. It ain't
Then
gonna
what
be
is it
nothing
gonna
like
be?
that.
Like, don't get me wrong, Doctor Strange, in terms of power level compared to the other heroes, he's
It's way higher.
probably
You can do a lot.
about top 3.
What they got to do with this conversation? Man?
But
You just trying to capitulate. You trying to make him
Yeah.
happy right now.
But
That's what you doing.
That's okay,
But-
Greg. I recognize that you're not the true op.
Government.
but
Oh, my bad.
he just isn't as appealing as the other
He's
heroes.
I love his character.
Like, he's not as appealing as a nigga in an iron suit that flies in the sky. I'm sorry.
People be sleeping on
Billionaire,
magic,
playboy,
dog.
philanthropist. It's not even the thing is, if Iron Man had magic, he'd still be more appealing. Just not. Let's take Tony Stark out of it and just the suit, man. The toy revenue alone, like people just see Iron Man and they know what that is. People see Doctor Strange and they be like, "Oh, that's that Houdini dude.
That's that Houdini,
That's that Magic Man. That's the one from,
amount of disrespect Doctor Strange receiving right now.
he
dog,
was
is
he was
crazy.
in Avengers. That I say that because I've seen that happen in real
Oh
time.
my god.
Like, all due respect to Benedict Cumberbatch, I love this performance.
Do that Chris Angel trick.
Oh my god.
Right.
Bro.
Is this your card? Like, what you gonna be doing? Like, we have to. Before we get to the next segment, I really must know, what is the gameplay loop?
Well, let's see.
Is it just Forspoken, but you're Doctor Strange?
Maybe if it was good,
Maybe
If it was good, what would make it good?
we'll make it good. Just not for what not being built on a dog shit engine that hasn't worked since it was made.
Just insert Doctor Strange in place of what's her face in the game.
I mean, he's a much better character than she is. To be fair, that game might actually do well.
Hey, you just changed our topic of the week on the fly.
Whoops.
Spoiler alert, the topic of the week was going to be checking in on y'all's mental health with the deluge of games coming this year. Scrap that. Topic of the week is going to be Doctor Strange video game or superhero video games. But let's
Bro.
save this. We gonna get back to this, man.
Oh my gosh.
We gotta give you a hard time on this one.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe we'll emerge with different opinions. Maybe we'll just be high on the idea.
Maybe one day we'll see him as the number 8 hero in the MCU.
The number 8 hero.
Number 8.
Oh my god. Y'all are disrespectful.
All right, y'all. So, Xbox just had a big win in their case against the FTC
Big
over the
dub.
Activision Blizzard acquisition.
Big dub.
Good.
I know y'all both have a lot to say about this one. All I'm going to lead off with is finally, I'm tired of people's time being wasted.
And tax dollars.
Indeed. So, Beet, go ahead and take it away.
W.
Bro, when I find out which one of y'all niggas the FTC is a certified Sony opposition, bro, it's curtains. How much of our money, us the taxpayers' money, are you going to fucking waste defending a foreign company against something that's not even real? Y'all literally fight the boogeyman in the closet. It's a trench coat. You look stupid as hell. You make us look stupid. And they're appealing the decision so they look twice as stupid as they already looked. They look so stupid that Congress literally called the FTC chairman in. It was like, why are you taking so many L's right now? Why are you wasting our time? Why are you wasting money on this? And everybody's just bullying the shit out of him. Like, look, a Biden-appointed judge said that y'all are wasting your time. And you don't have a case, so why do you continue to think that you do have one? So it's very suspicious that the whole government, even the Senate, which is the king of wasting time and money, is looking at the FTC like, huh? Like you can't be doing that. Like you got to do it like we do. You can't be doing that, bro. You got 4 L's. This is even the first L they've taken. They've taken 4 L's back to back to back to back. If I put you in charge of a case and you lost every case, and you picked all the cases too that you were gonna go for, you're fired. I would fire you. Like clearly you can't win. You don't know what cases you should even take.
And then they proceeded to double down, as you said.
Yeah, they double it down on stupid. It's like, bro, well, how many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man? You are not going to win.
How many times?
That's so appropriate.
Right. Timeless.
Oh god.
Everything you just said, man. I co-sign most of that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Most of that.
Like, this case has been ongoing for way too long. They only really have one more country and they're kind of in negotiations, it looks like right now. So with the UK, with the CMA right now. So once we might even get news about it today, as early as today. So we'll see what results from that. But other than that, like, I don't see this like really going further, even though they did put in for an appeal. It's possible it could get thrown out. Who knows?
They're trying to get past that July 18th deadline.
Yeah, it must be. But what's crazy to me is, like, as bad as Activision and Blizzard need somebody to be in charge of them so that Bobby can fuck off and go swim in his pool until he dies of old age. Like, people are just tired. I'm tired of Bobby Kotick. I want him gone.
I do.
I think that after the transition's over, they already had plans to get rid of him. I'd like to see Blizzard be freed from the cruel shackles of Activision, the Activision merger. Like, it's just so much that it would do for the gaming industry and for the people who work at those companies. That would just be so much better. Because if anything, the issue with the merger, as far as like the structure and the administration of it, you know, I feel like who's the head of Microsoft again? I always forget his name. Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer.
Yeah, Phil Spencer.
Well,
if anything, Phil Spencer,
head of Xbox.
Yeah, he is likely to make the changes that need to be made, because I think he learned his lesson with the last disaster with Redfall. I think that he'd be. He has to be at least apprised of what's going on in Activision and all the negative press and all the issues they're having, and I think he'd come in with a plan to fix it.
I'm just over here laughing because the CMA came back in like, "Hey, big head, you up?" The CMA was like, "Yo, you remember how we had said,
remember you know how we was talking that shit, right? We didn't really mean it,
right? You mad at me?"
You mad? You ain't mad at me, are you, America?
Right. Y'all mad at me? But yeah. It was a long, hard-fought battle. But it seems to be coming to an end. We've discussed behind the scenes, updating y'all on it and talking about it week to week. But what was the point, man? This thing was being dragged out, and half the time it was a non-story. But now that we actually have a decision, you know, I figured good a time as any to discuss it, our feelings on it. We all pretty much feel the same about it. I mean, I'm not of the mind that this is bad for the gaming industry. This has been Sony's MO since forever, you know. And on the other side of this, we've discovered a lot about the goings on behind the scenes, you know. Potential games in development.
I mean,
certain.
I will say this, not to cut you off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, go ahead, man.
So, them not having Call of Duty and losing, well, they not even losing Call of Duty. They have Call of Duty for the next 10 years, but
Mm-hmm.
not being able to use Call of Duty, at least particularly, like as their poster boy for the next while, it will hurt Sony for a bit, but they have so many live service games in development.
Let's define hurt, though. Is forcing them to innovate and improve their product hurting them?
I don't think,
Or is it pushing
well,
competition?
well, in
Because
that sense,
hurting, sure,
Yeah.
you can make the argument, but I feel like that's the best way to hurt a company. Because
Like, are we
consumer benefits at the end of the day.
Like, are we gonna pretend that they aren't just sitting on Killzone doing absolutely fuck all with it, and that's their FPS franchise, and it's been dead for a whole console generation?
To be fair, Killzone does not have the staying power that Call of Duty does, but to your point, it does demonstrate a lack of faith in their own IP. That they don't feel that they could make Killzone that. I mean,
They
granted,
could.
Call of Duty, you could, as in it's possible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's possible that I could die of a heart attack right now. I'm in prime health though, so I doubt it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible. It's possible I could win the lottery. Possible we could all get struck by lightning. But the reception of Killzone alone is enough just to demonstrate that it's nothing compared to Call of Duty. It's just, to me, say you're the head of a business, you know, you're the head of PlayStation. You see all these studios at your disposal. You know that Killzone doesn't hold a candle to Call of Duty, but you say that. You say that. You throw your studio under the bus and you just let the public know, like, hey, you know how y'all don't care about Killzone? We don't either.
We don't either. Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, I understand your attitude where it's like, yeah, try to make the most of what you have. That's what I feel they should do. However, there is the reality that, you know, Call of Duty is a huge marketing machine. But to me, that just illustrates a problem internally. Because why do you have to lean on this third-party game so much?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for
It
you
really
to have
doesn't.
your whole strategy pinioning on a company completely outside of your purview and outside of your relative control.
Right.
Like, you're relying on them to be able to sell your console. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and I saw some study that indicated that it might not necessarily impact them as heavily as they would imply.
Hmm.
Because I think about the amount of people. This is just anecdotal at this point, but I'm giving you my perspective. I talk to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of gamers. I talk to a lot of PlayStation gamers. I talk to a few Xbox gamers, naturally. I know, realistically, I know 2 people out of dozens who bought a PlayStation specifically to play the next Call of Duty. And I'm surprised I know anybody who bought a PlayStation specifically to play the next Call of Duty. You know what I mean? It's not exclusive to that hardware.
Nope.
But yeah, man, all I know is I wouldn't be, with the freaking plethora of studios at their disposal, the IP they have on hand, I wouldn't be quick to be like, we ain't got nothing else. Like, Jesus.
They have some of the best first-party titles, period.
I'd be sitting in the background like, you know
What about
I mean?
what about Spider-Man 2? What about Ratchet and Clank? What about, you know, there's a million things. God of War. What there's so many what abouts.
Jack.
They don't like to talk about them because they don't want to shine light on the fact that they've been playing the exclusive game for all time.
Forever, bro.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, this ain't the Xbox versus PlayStation podcast. It's just, I'm glad this is finally over, and I, for one, can't see how it impacts consumers in any way until Xbox controls 10% of the market and starts charging $90 for games. I ain't worried about it.
I ain't either.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts.
The FTC wastes money, and Sony needs to stop crying about things that aren't problems.
Yeah. Sony will be fine. They got like what, 8-9 different live service games in development.
Marathon by Bungie. They literally own Bungie. Like, bro, what are you crying about?
They'd be all right.
They'd
be all right.
They'll be all right. They'll be all right.
For sure. For sure. You know? All right. So, hey, I just had a funny thought, though, before we move on. The irony here about the whole Destiny situation is I feel like it would help them if they continued to market Destiny as a game from the studio that brought you Halo.
Yeah.
Ironically, it's like they're
yeah.
not going to do that, but they could.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like
I'd be leaning on Bungie to make PlayStation's Halo. I'd be like, look, I need something equivalent.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But anyway, Gunnm.
Mm-hmm.
What you playing, man?
Well, I was playing Final Fantasy 16, but I finished that last night. So are we gonna segue into talking about final thoughts on the game? Final thoughts?
Well, I know a
Final
certain
thoughts.
person did.
No, my final thoughts are I got halfway through that game and then Trails into Reverie arrived on my doorstep. So my final thoughts are I ain't got nothing to say about Final Fantasy right now. Admittedly, I tried, y'all. I tried to marathon that game for the pod, but I made the mistake of putting in Trails in the Reverie. And that's all I've been doing. I'm like, because I told myself, hey, the other guys got this covered. So I have a decision to make. I can force myself to trudge through this game that I'm not in the headspace to play. Or I can continue to enjoy myself and still have something to talk about on the pod. I chose the latter. So I have not beat Final Fantasy 16.
But
it'll happen, but not yet.
But yeah, so
that's gonna sit on your backlog as long as Undertale, bro.
I feel you, but it won't. It won't.
It's
because hey, you petty, first of all. But yeah, it won't because there's nothing else. You know what I mean? There's nothing else for a while. I mean, Armored Core is next month, right?
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate, but like those are both. I'll get to them when I get to them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna definitely prioritize. I mean, shoot, I might even have it done next week after at the latest. But I popped in Trails, man.
Yeah.
You go ahead, Gunnm.
Yeah.
You go ahead. I don't want to take your shine.
So, all right. Since we're on Trails, like we talked playing Final Fantasy last week, but closing thoughts. Just to be general, because I did tweet out immediately after I beat the game. At Top It's the creator, by the way. I gave it like a 9 out of 10. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It was it's definitely up there among my favorite Final Fantasies that I've played. I would say for sure. definitely more. I was definitely more engaged with the story than really so much the gameplay, which is probably why you're playing Trails of Reverie more so than Final Fantasy, which is understandable because I kind of felt the same way. So it felt more to me, at least this game, more a narrative driven experience than like a gameplay one. And you know, for some people, like, they'll like that, but others maybe not so much. But the gameplay kind of kept it, at least me, engaged enough anyway to at least give it like that kind of a score. So yeah, it's not, I don't think it's better than Final Fantasy X, but it's I don't want to say it comes close, but it's up there. It's up there for me. It's
all right.
I will at least say it's better than Crisis Core.
What you over there watching, Beet?
No, I was doing some research.
But Trails in the Reverie though.
Trails in the Reverie though.
Trails in the Reverie.
Trails in the Reverie.
That gameplay. That classic Trails gameplay. It is so good. And it starts immediately. Like, it gets you in there immediately. It starts immediately.
I have
like
one. I wouldn't even call it a grievance.
You know how long those prologues are.
Yes.
And
I have one concern, okay? And I'm gonna see if you feel the same way I do.
What?
Because you start out with so much. They start you out. I'm on nightmare mode. I don't know if that makes a difference. They start you out at level 100.
Mm-hmm.
And you have access to so much from the get. And I think, isn't the level cap like 105? Because there's an item that raises the level cap and it said current cap 105. So I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, we got a whole game ahead of us. So how does it open up?
I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, because I'm like you said, bro, like it starts heavy and I'm like, bro, what? I can do this. I got access to these quartz and these skills and I got this many characters already.
And I'm like, man, it's just like everything flows. And then you have, I don't know how far you got, but you got the new abilities, the new stuff that you can do.
The United Fronts. I'm like, you know my reaction when that mechanic came up. Both times, in fact, because I've pretty much completed the first, I don't know if it's the whole act. Well, because I haven't gotten to Act 2, but I did the first stretch leading to the first major boss in Reen's Path and Lloyd's Path. So, as soon as they hit you with, hey, do you think we should use that new feature? I'm like, hold on, what? Because this combat system is already so deep and there's already so many options and different patterns and customizations you can do with the quartz, with the Arcus. I'm like, dog, so now you mean to tell me we have an entirely different resource in battles that we can use to do another type of team attack?
You have crafts.
I'm like,
you have S-crafts, you have arts, you got the orders, the United, you got so much. There's so much to just rush.
I'm like, dog,
oh man.
It's just the whole time. The other thing is it's intuitive, you know? It's not even complicated. But the whole time I'm sitting there like, dude, I have a litany of options. This is an embarrassment of options.
and it just all flows well together. Like, you use everything. Nothing's underutilized. Like, you use everything. I've been.
So I just
using
watched a
everything in this
gameplay
game.
video of this game they all are fawning over, and I gotta be honest, guys, it doesn't look great.
It's hater.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anything
just
else you wish to
animations.
add?
I mean, that's all I can add. I just looked at it. I was like,
It's a
Right,
hater.
but like you've never been someone to play a game for its animation, Mr. Duke Nukem Forever.
bro, we don't have to. Why would you bring that up, bro?
Because you just
I have
jumped
backed
in.
all the way
You
off of
said,
it.
look, I'm gonna tell you
I'm
why.
back
I'm gonna
all
tell
the
you
way
why.
off of it.
You sat here typing on
I'm
your
like,
computer,
no, you
not
didn't.
saying nothing for the entire first arc of this conversation.
What was I supposed to say?
And then you hopped in and said, I'm gonna just say some nonsense. I'm gonna just be
Was it
negative for the
nonsense?
sake of it.
I'm just like, I just was trying to see what y'all were talking about.
Yeah, at what point did we say, oh my god, it's a graphical masterpiece akin to Final Fantasy 16?
I never
Because
said
Mr.
that.
Short Attention Span over here can
Oh
only
wow!
play
Look
something that
at
runs
the
at
opposition.
4K 60
I-
FPS.
I did not attack this man. For the record, I did not attack this man or his taste. I just said I didn't think it looked great.
You are the
Yeah, I didn't
opposite.
say you attacked me over my taste. I said you just, it's like when people get downvoted on Reddit for saying irrelevant stuff. You just popped in like, you know, I gotta be honest.
Like, I
You didn't listen to
know.
nothing we said about the gameplay. Absolutely nothing. And then you just popped in with your 2 cents like, ugh, how can I be abrasive right now? Shut up. Yeah.
Yeah, I smirched this man's honor.
Yeah. It's not even my honor. It's the honor of the game, man.
It's
'Cause
it's a good game, man.
It does make me think, though. I mean, him saying that it obviously the Trail series is not cutting edge. I compare it to Pokemon in that way, in terms of fidelity.
To
So
be
it'd be
fair-
so amazing.
To be fair, a lot
It's
of
a small
JRPGs, a lot of
It sounds like
JRPGs
it's like Inverse 16, where it's a bunch of really good game,
So
and the story is good too. It's decent.
yeah, Falcom has
Oh, the stories.
Falcom has less than 40 employees.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's
It's a
crazy.
small team, very small.
Kudos to them, then.
Always has been. But they make damn good. They make damn good games. They make some damn.
Sometimes
good
I
games.
do envision a Trails game with the graphical fidelity of a Final Fantasy. And
Ooh.
I feel like they have the capacity to get there one day. But like, this is the thing, man. This is the problem. And I'm not making this about Beet anymore. I already made my feelings known. It's like we look at games like Final Fantasy and we fawn over what we see, the scale of it, the presentation of it, and then there's no substance, and we let those games get away with it. And then we skip over amazingly deep games like Trails because it looks the way it looks. And then we complain about those former games not being deep enough and not having the mechanics to which we've become accustomed. You know what I mean? That's why it's like, I love graphics as much as the next person, but I'm not about to look at a game which Trails doesn't even have bad graphics. It just don't look like a PS5 game.
Yeah.
And the animations are pretty stilted, but
They're pretty standard
I
for
mean,
JRPGs in general.
and that's a good point, you know. But yeah, I mean, if you can get past all of that stuff and just try the games, I definitely recommend people who are, if you have the patience for like that kind of feel good shonen-y type storytelling.
Like
Which
the Trails games, like they have really very, very deep lore. Like there's very deep
Yeah.
world building. Like just it's people call it, and like I know this is like just overplayed. Like people say this all the time about it. Like it's called the MCU of JRPGs for a reason. Like it's there's like just so much crossover between these games, and
Extremely corny games, by the way, but you grow to love it.
I
Extremely corny.
I I would never say that about the Trail series.
You would,
but
you wouldn't.
But I just love the hell out of these characters, man. These characters are great. They're all well written, at least the main characters anyway, to me.
I agree. Well, to draw a final comparison to this in Final Fantasy, which will further illustrate why it's distracting me. You remember I talked about the conversations you have in Final Fantasy and how, like, I feel like the set pieces of that game almost work to its detriment because the things you do in between are boring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like talking to people in Trails for a different reason. Because in Trails, when you talk to somebody, it's going to be an in-depth conversation. And I'm talking regular random NPCs that all have names. Every NPC is named.
Yep.
And if you start talking to them, they are going to have a depth of things to provide based on the point you're at in the narrative. So like you could come back later. You could talk to a person one time and they talk about how they upset that their husband is about to get deployed and have like 6 lines of dialogue. And then you leave and you come back in a later chapter and the guy left. And she's mourning and she's talking about, I miss so-and-so, and says them by name. And then you find that same dude somewhere else in the world randomly late. It's like, it makes the world feel lived in, you know, versus
really
like,
does.
hey, go talk to Sam, go talk to Max, who you never see again.
Like,
just to pad out the hours.
Like, I don't know if you do, Dray, but I talk to every NPC.
I try not to for that reason.
I'm like autistic about it. Like, I talk to every NPC, every NPC, just to see what's going on.
I try to do every side quest that I find, but see, I talk to a character, for example, and then I'll end on this. I talk to a character, like you find her in the first act of the second route. And no, it was a guy, actually. It was a guy, the guy who was sweeping outside the bar. And you talk to him. I thought he was going to say something like, oh, my life, just sweeping, you know, standard NPC dialogue.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, hey, how you been, man? Oh, you look just like your brother. Oh, I haven't seen you since da-da-da. Oh, hey, we should all get together and go get a drink. And then your character's like, yeah, I'll let you know next time I'm free. I'm like, that was a real conversation they just had.
Yeah.
Let me not do that again, or I'm gonna be playing this game for 200 hours.
Yeah, like
Baldur's Gate 3, boy.
Like every
is it like that?
Baldur's Gate 3 has 150 hours worth of voice dialogue and cinematics, dog. Like, if you sat and listened to every line, that shit will take you forever to beat. That's not even including the encounters.
Every NPC, man. Like, even across different games, like, you encounter the same NPCs and you'll just find interesting. It's just, I really love the Trail series as far as like how
I need it on a humble bundle, my guy.
It's why I don't understand how they keep track of all this. As a writer myself, I'm like, I can't even find many plot holes, you know? They must have some type of AI database that's just like, plot hole anytime they try to add something inconsistent. Yeah. But what else you got, man? That's all I got to say about Trails. I'm interested in
I know I've been on this for a while, but I'm gonna close it up by saying I'm also getting back to playing Hi-Fi Rush. I'm almost done with it. I might be done with it in the next 2 days.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm ready to talk about it.
I'm 2/3 of the way through it, so I should be done in the next 2 days. But I've really been enjoying my time with that game. So that, nice. And I'm finally, because I decided to not play this game until I was for sure done with Final Fantasy, but I'm getting back into Street Fighter, and I'm gonna learn this game proper. I've been seeing so much stuff. I'm about to be a killer. About to be a killer.
All right.
For real.
We
Yeah.
shall see, my friend.
But
Beet. You
So what are
sat
you
through us
playing?
talking about trails.
So what are you
Mhm.
playing?
Told you I've been playing Diablo 4.
Is that it? According to you, you
Uh,
weren't playing Diablo 4.
Oh yeah, no, definitely wasn't playing Diablo 4 today. Never done it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been playing that mostly. I know you guys are super big into trails, and we discussed how you took the 16 disc out the slot and put trails in it, and it ain't left since. I'm just kind of in a holding pattern. I'm just waiting for something else to come out. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that I'm interested in really playing right
No
now.
backlog?
I mean, I have plenty of backlog. I gotta beat Resident Evil 4. I gotta beat Dead Space. I gotta beat Endwalker for Final Fantasy 14. So I'm kind of taking the time to assess my backlog and decide which one I want to play first.
Yeah.
But that's
I was
really.
gonna ask what's holding you back from just
Yeah.
tackling that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a lack of desire. Like in the case of 4 and Dead Space, these are games that I already beat the originals for. Like it's a new glossed up experience, but I've beaten these games. I know the stories, so I don't feel like the impetus, like it's not brand new to me anymore.
Yeah.
You
don't
got
feel the
bit by the
impetus.
apathy bug.
I did, bro.
Apathy is death.
I ceased to care. I was like, yeah, this is fun, but I'm done caring. And then I stopped playing it.
That's fair.
I'm trying to think of what else. So because those are like the two games that like I was really playing, and then I just dropped them suddenly. Like I just stopped. I don't want to play with you anymore, and I just dropped them.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think, but
Yeah.
like I wish that I had like a Trails into Reverie to play. Something that I'm super hyped about right now. But I'm mostly just waiting for Baldur's Gate 3 to come out at the beginning of next month. That's gonna be all my time.
Yeah. So basically, for me, after I finish Hi-Fi Rush, because it's gonna be pretty streamlined until Armored Core comes out, because that's the next game I'm playing, and that's the end of next month. So I got plenty
The
of time.
end? I thought it got moved up.
I don't think so.
For what? Armored Core?
I don't believe that got moved
Oh,
up.
I don't know.
If it did, then I'm not sure. Then I'd have to double check. But
I just feel like Armored Core and Starfield are such fundamentally different games that they don't really need to
yeah,
adjust for each other.
yeah, not really. Like, so after Hi-Fi Rush, I plan on tackling Octopath. In the last what?
You with
like
Octopath.
12? Yeah, I know.
Never ended saga.
I was originally gonna just say, you know what? I was just gonna leave the experience at where I played it, but I'm coming back to it. I wasn't gonna finish it originally, but I'm like, you know what? I already put in the time. I only have like 12 hours or so left, so I'm gonna come back to it. So there's that. I still haven't fully put time into Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't even finished it. I know.
Dude, ain't that crazy?
I know.
I forgot that game came out.
That's how many games have come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's always something to play. It's just a matter of
so
finding the time and will to play them.
So Trails into Reverie, I'm gonna be playing alongside like at least one other game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just kind of like clear my backlog here. Like, I still got Trails from 0. I mean, even though I already know what happens, don't be like me and just watch summaries, play the games. They're good. But I still got to play Trails from Azure. Also, already know what happens.
Oh, you going down your whole list. I just realized.
Yeah, this is my whole backlog list.
Because he told me before, he was telling me his backlog, and I'm like, these are starting to sound familiar.
Yeah.
I mean, good luck, bro. We are already more than halfway through the year.
Yeah, most of these games I'll be done with before Armored Core comes out. So I plan to play finish Metroid Prime before, next after Hi-Fi Rush is done, which should be just a couple days. So, and that's a short game, so that should be quick. But other than that, like it's pretty streamlined. So most of these games will be
Gunnm was like, I was like, what you playing? And Gunnm was like, oh, let's see, every game I have ever started ever.
I mean, for this year, these are all games,
A to Z.
these are all from just this year, so
that's crazy too.
Just like I kind of have a plan to tackle it. It's just next time.
Well, let's go to our topic of the week, man. I don't want to take any more time away from you and what you can use to tackle that backlog. But topic of the week: Doctor Strange, the video game.
Oh,
in parentheses, superhero games.
You did it to yourself.
I guess so. How dare I want things?
Oh, woe is me.
Woe is me.
Woe is me. I'll make a huge declarative statement and then not back it up and instead cry about it.
I will.
So,
I'm crying about it. Man.
Explain this game. Sell me on this game. This Doctor Strange. This Forspoken reskin you were talking about.
Yeah, like, we're gonna reskin the whole game. Step one. A character people can actually like that's already done. We have Dr. Stephen Strange. We have the MCU iteration of him. We can do a more modern one.
What's the name? What's the name?
No, let him go. Let him go.
Okay,
let him go. Up.
Go ahead.
You know, we had. He was a fun character in Midnight Suns, if a bit stuffy and annoying, but that's like part of the charm is that he's kind of a pretentious douchebag, sort of like the magic version of Tony. So you start the game off. You could, and it depends on where they want to go. They could do him in the middle of his career. They could do him at the apex of his power. They could do him, at the beginning, learning how to. And I feel like when you're starting off a new game series, starting at the beginning is always a good choice because it lets players get used to new option, to the options and abilities you have, to kind of how the world works. You get to grow alongside the character. So we'll say the Doctor Strange video game starts out at the beginning of him reaching Kamartaj and learning about magic. And then, you could fight, you could start learning, new spells. I mean, we already have a game that's kind of like this. It's called the Hogwarts Legacy. It was very popular.
Right. So let's bite off that.
Yeah, we just bite off. Why meddle with success? It already worked once. It can work again. So you go, it's not like you're in school either. Like you go out into the real world, you go to New York, you got to fight back like extra dimensional threats. They could come up with, kind of a magic combat system similar. And I think that the combat system they developed for Hogwarts Legacy is great. You could have like a spell book to change what spells are in your slots. You can combo them together. They can have unique interactions with each other. There's a lot of things that they could do with that. And then there's also the traversal. Like, well, how does Doctor Strange get around? Well, he has, the cape. So he puts on his little cloak, and he can take off into the air. And he does not like he doesn't fly at speed. He flies very fast. So you've got that aspect. You can have like flight challenges. You can have like secret like artifacts or dungeons. Or you get new artifacts that amplify your spells in some way because there's a lot of like relics and things. And then you have the Sanctum Sanctorum, which you can fully customize. You can have your trophies that you've won from battling demons or other entities. The story really could be about any villain. It doesn't really matter. There's like a whole pantheon of villains for Doctor Strange, like high level, especially if we're going like Silver Era. You have the opportunity to fight like one-on-one like mage duels against like Baron Mordo, or like fighting giant boss battles against like Dormammu. I just believe there's a lot of potential for what a Doctor Strange game could be, and it could be a lot of fun. Like, we got to remember that Iron Man was not as big as Iron Man is now until the MCU made him hot. Like straight up, he just was not that. He's not as popular. He's not as thought about as say as a Spider-Man or even Captain America. And he's another character.
But
that
Doctor Strange was in a tier of his own at the very bottom.
Yeah, I mean that's
Iron
true.
Man was at least recognizable.
I mean, yeah, that's
I knew
true.
who
But
Iron
so
Man was before the 2008 movie.
yeah,
Like when the Doctor Strange movie was announced, I was like, "Who's that nigga?"
who's that nigga? I mean, but let's think about Guardians of the Galaxy. They're some of the most popular heroes now, and they were F tier. Nobody knew who the fuck they were.
They're also more marketable than just like I'm just saying it like it is. They're more marketable than a generic tall white dude with a cape.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? We got Superman. How many of those do we have? A dude, his collar is like his defining trait feature.
Like this one, this tall white man with a cape. The strange shit.
Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking. Because nothing you said, as easy as it would be for me to pull a beat and be a hater right now, nothing you said sounded bad to me. It sounded very derivative, but it also sounded like something I would play. Because look at Shadow of War. I love that game. And that's
incredibly
derivative. Yeah. But my thing, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, who would develop it?
I think the Sucker Punch would be a good choice.
Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Still in my idea, but I think that's
of course. Why wouldn't I?
I don't know, creativity.
No, we worry about we want results. We don't care about creativity.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Tell me you haven't thought about your stance without telling me you haven't thought about it. So, okay. Sucker Punch develops this. What's the cover of the game? What does the cover look like?
Describe it.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be anything like intricate, because like I can't think of the last time I actually sat and looked at the cover of the box art on a game.
I look at the box art at every single game I play.
Just Doctor Strange coming out of a portal, going like this.
It could be that. It could be that. It could be just the symbol of the Sanctum Sanctorum and like
the symbol ain't gonna sell. Symbols don't sell.
On a thing. They don't sell. Symbols don't sell.
Nope.
Damn. Hate to see it. Well.
So I'm just like, what? Because that was the crux.
I hadn't thought about it.
That was the crux of this. Is why do you think it would sell? Because we at the very beginning were like, we just don't think it has the staying power. We don't think it would make an impact. And then you took chagrin to that. So I'm like, okay, then prove us wrong. Granted, this is all a hypothetical conversation.
You want to know how you sell it? You want to know how you sell it?
How you sell it?
Make it a platinum game.
Make it a platinum? No. That's incompatible with what the game would be. That's just silly.
I will say that if someone like me, I can't speak for the average consumer, but someone like me, if I found out Sucker Punch was making a Doctor Strange game, I'm like, infamous spiritual successor? Yeah, I'm gonna play that. I don't care what the cover is, but I'm saying a person's just scrolling through the store. They just, I was gonna say in GameStop. That's dying though.
That's dead.
But I mean, it's not dead. It's on its way out. But I'm just gonna use the increasingly apt example of a digital storefront. You see that symbol, it's gonna be like, what? And then it says Doctor Strange. Maybe they'll be like, hey, oh, that's the one dude from Avengers, right? Then maybe they look into it, you know. But like, they might even scroll past it and not even read it.
Yeah. But anytime you have a game, there's gonna be an intended audience.
Maybe even have cameos of other heroes.
Right, but that was not your argument. Your argument was against us saying it wouldn't sell.
It would be good if it's.
Which we
here's
both
the bottom
said
line,
it
though.
could be.
Something that would help it sell is having cameos of other heroes in there. So maybe have
it could.
Spider-Man there with him on the cover, or Iron Man.
My thing is,
I'd be mad though if I bought a game because Spider-Man and Iron Man were on the cover, and then I found out it was a Doctor Strange game.
No, it would obviously be called Doctor Strange, but it's like Spider-Man has heroes cameo in all his older games. He didn't really have many of them in the newer one, but in his older games, he had cameos. Doctor Strange has showed up in old Spider-Man games. Like, you had characters that crossed over.
It reeks of Tony Stark in Homecoming.
Spider-Man,
to me.
yeah. Whereas it just doesn't feel confident.
It's a little bit of deception isn't terrible.
No,
I mean, we just trying to sell the game. Honestly.
Exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying.
We're trying to do, and we failed to do it, unfortunately.
Man, whatever.
But either of y'all have any other ideas for like? Because I'd play a Doctor Strange.
I am very serious
Infamous type game.
I am very serious about making it a platinum game.
Bro, why?
Final Fantasy. What?
So why specifically a Doctor Strange? Okay, again, we can open this up. It ain't just got to be Doctor Strange.
Final Fantasy. Why can't Doctor Strange? I don't see why not.
Oh my god.
Well, here, you want to know why not?
Why not?
Because I would play a platinum game about almost any other hero.
That is true.
Almost any other hero.
You picked like the worst one.
But it's Doctor Strange.
I'd play a you're right though. I play a platinum game about Taskmaster before I play a platinum game about Doctor Strange.
I agree. That just sounds like a mismatch.
A platinum game about Black Widow before Doctor Strange.
I just
love Benedict Cumberbatch. Love him, but
I want.
You know what? A Black Widow platinum game sounds kind of fire. I would play.
It's just Bayonetta with extra steps. Anyway,
honestly,
bro, I want the Forbidden Game, the game they just simply have tried and cannot make. I want a Superman game. I want one. I just want it.
You're never gonna get a good one. I'm sorry.
I want it. I'm so fucking mad that we haven't been able to get one. How can you not, bro?
You're never
just make him
get
OP.
A good one.
I don't give a shit. Just make him OP. Make me just punch people through buildings, bro. But the destructibility.
I've heard that pitched, and someone said, "Let's do a health bar." You know, actually, a while back, you could probably find it. Greg Miller from Kinda Funny, he pitched a superhero game. Yeah. I think that was like an entire topic they had on a podcast. He's like, "Hey, man, there's a health bar, and your performance is assessed based on how many people you're able to save, because like it just doesn't make sense to give Superman a health bar that's tied to his vitality, right? It doesn't really make sense unless every enemy in the game is using kryptonite or something,
which is unlikely.
Yeah,
I think for the boss battles, like let's say you're fighting fucking Lex Luthor or something, well then obviously your health bar should be tied to you because he has people who can kill him or fuck him up. Like Doomsday, Lex Luthor, villains that are known for using kryptonite.
Like every single villain in that game has guns with kryptonite bullets or something.
Right. I'm trying to be open to it, but like the idea of it has never interested me. But I don't even like Superman, so it could just be partially that.
It could be that you just don't like him.
I don't know, people selling kryptonite like drugs in Metropolis.
It's mostly that I can't envision how it would be good or even like innovative.
I don't know.
Because I think about the flying mechanics in so many other games and I'm like, okay, he can fly anywhere. So then how does that affect his interaction with the world around him? You know what I mean? I can't help but think of DC Universe Online.
Yeah.
And how flimsy it was with, I'm flying now. Oh,
yep.
Land, talk to NPC. I'm sure it'd be more cinematic than that, but
yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with these types of games where traversal is emphasized, even with Spider-Man. See, they do well to make the NPCs seem realistic because they take pictures of you and stuff.
Wow.
But in
See if it
an
catches
open
on.
world game where you're flying at Mach 5 or whatever the hell, the textures ain't gonna be popping like that. Just because it's.
Oh.
Uh-oh, we cutting out.
Oh, yeah.
Are we back?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. But yeah, that's the funny thing, man. I would try both of those.
Mm.
I would try a Superman game. I'd try a Doctor Strange game. It's just an interesting topic because you wonder, one, why haven't they done some of these things before? And then, how do you make it work? How do you make it engaging?
Mm. True enough.
I guess that's really the
Maybe-
mystery. I think that's why the game hasn't been made, is because it's such a difficult concept. I don't feel like anybody's found the way to solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Maybe-
mean, you could take a Force Unleashed approach to it. Sorry, Gunnm.
You're good.
But you could take a Force Unleashed approach to it, where it's kind of like a power fantasy type game, where it's like not necessarily supposed to be like challenging, but it requires you to use your skills well. Like if you're dealing with environmental hazards like a burning building, or you're going into the building and saving people, like using your powers in the right way. Like if you blow through a wall, like the building becomes less stable. Like having to make decisions about how you use your power could make for something that's intriguing, or at least interesting.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I've said all this, but what would my pitch be? If I had to make a superhero game, something that hasn't been made, or
Even if it has, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, what would you pitch if it was a game that hasn't reached like mainstream success, or genre, or hero, or whatever?
so with the success of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, just to be different, I was going to say a multiplayer squad-based Fantastic Four game, but I'm going to say what I'm really thinking.
But they
and make
made
that an
one
X-Men
almost.
game.
Okay.
No, yeah, because Fantastic Four,
The video game you
don't
played?
nobody. Huh?
Did you play the video game?
No, the GameCube, PS2, Xbox one. Yeah, you played it with me.
Oh
At
yeah,
least
shit,
once.
we did play
Yeah.
that. I forgot.
And
It's been so long.
it was like, it was passable. It was kind of like X-Men Legends, but I'm thinking more something like, okay, everything we just said is applicable to the titular character, right? So in this case, you got four of us. Like, say the three of us are playing. I'm the Thing, you're Reed Richards, Gunnm is the Human Torch. But all of us have our own skill tree, our own specific set of powers, and our own gameplay loop that is essential to our character. You know, like I said, I'd rather do this with X-Men. So, like, you know,
Yeah.
Cyclops, Storm, maybe, I don't know, throw Magneto in there for a narrative reason. But that's all I can think of. As far as superhero games that haven't really been done that way before, a multiplayer, third-person action game. But, Gunnm, did you say one? No, he said Platinum.
Platinum
That's all
Doctor
he had to
Strange. Platinum.
Platinum
Add
Doctor
to it.
Strange.
Platinum.
Platinum.
Have Platinum.
Makes it work.
That's all. If he was a Pokemon, that's what he would say.
Final Fantasy 16. Prime
Platinum.
example. It works.
Oh my god.
The formula works. Platinum was in the credits.
You said just slap Platinum on anything.
Yeah, slap it
It'll
on
make
anything,
it
I'll
better.
play it. It'll make it better. Doesn't even matter whether they worked on the game or not. As long as it says Platinum, I'm satisfied.
Right.
Platinum like
You might
combat.
have
You
a
can
point,
never,
though, man.
You can never go
The
wrong
Last
with
of
it.
Us 4.
Platinum games.
Platinum.
that'd be
Ellie got
fire.
combos.
Right? She just juggling. That was fire. All right, and we do have a side quest today.
All right, let's
We have it in a minute. It's a quick one though. I just
All right.
want y'all opinion.
All right.
Video game cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
How long is too long? So a conversation I had with you recently in regards to Uncharted and Final Fantasy and the comparison of those two games, it really got me thinking about where my values lie in video games, like what I get out of them. And you know me, gameplay is king. Gameplay is always first and foremost. I love a good story, but I consider story as like the filling, you know? Story's like it's like the garnish. Like, hey, this was great. Oh, you mean I got a good story too? Oh, well then, I'll come back, right? But when does it get to the point where you're like, this is too much? Like, there's not enough punching, or there's not enough insert mechanic here. There's too much talking. There's too much visuals going on. Because for me, I do have an answer, and the bottom of that, the like, the qualifier for me is Final Fantasy 16, but particularly the quick time events, just because of how easy they are, like how brain dead easy and how disruptive they are. I feel to the combat as a whole.
Well, okay, so I guess this would be a beat question. So, do the quick time events? Do you have less time to interact or no?
In New Game Plus,
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think it changes.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious. But yeah, I do agree. That's for sure.
what's the cutoff point for you? Because I'm somebody who I love Metal Gear.
Like, I don't mind cutscenes. What? Go ahead.
If you're talking Metal Gear Solid 4, bro, that's too much. That shit was dead ass a movie. No, it straight up was just a movie. That's not a game. In no way did I feel like I was playing a game. I was watching Hideo Kojima's cinematic debut.
Right.
It was a long, boring movie too. At some points, definitely more than others.
Yeah. Oh, it for sure. They got a little too indulgent, but I feel like the gameplay made up for it to some extent. If they ever remake that game, I do think they need to try to find a way to pad it out more with the things you want to do.
Well, they just need the Raiden versus the Metal Gear, right? Like, make that a fucking fight. Let me play Raiden. You have mechanics for Raiden you made in Revengeance, bro. Make it a fight I can play.
You're right, recycle that.
Yeah, just recycle it. There's a lot of things they can do for 4 to make it more playable, and one of them is less cutscenes, more doing things.
Right. So do you feel that way about Final Fantasy 16's cutscenes?
Yes I do. I think the cutscenes. Well, no, it's hard because
not, like, for me,
especially the further you get in the game, the less the cutscenes really do the fight for you. Mm-hmm. Like, you do end up having to fight. Yeah, you might finish a character in a cutscene, but you do have your boss fight. You do have your big boss fight.
I mean, outside of combat.
Oh, outside of combat? I mean, I don't have a problem with the cutscenes. I think their lengths aren't too long.
Sometimes I feel like, when is the last time I picked up my controller?
I can see that.
There's definitely a lot of them, especially the end engine, like, generated ones kind of get a little bit, especially the ones where it has like very little animation, kind of makes it a little stiff and I can a test might take you out of the experience a little bit in Final Fantasy 16. Because there were some important cutscenes like done that way, and it's like, damn, we're definitely running out of budget for this, but at some points. But
Metal Gear is definitely way worse with it. Like, I'm not about to sit here and cap.
But man, I don't think the length of the cutscenes, just like Beet was saying, was really an issue. It's just really at times like just the sheer number of them. Like, I'm honestly very curious how many hours of cutscenes are in that game, because it is.
I'm sure someone is gonna calculate that.
It's pretty numerous, like versus how much time you're actually playing.
So give me a ratio.
It feels like
cutscene to gameplay.
It feels like half and half almost.
Yeah, it does seem like
So
half
what's
and
your
half.
tolerance level? What's your tolerance level for that?
About that.
About that?
Yeah.
Half cutscene, half gameplay Beat.
I would say it's about that. If the cutscenes are, especially if they're melded well into the gameplay, I think Uncharted, even though I say, we talk about cinematic experiences, that's a very cutscene heavy type situation. But I feel like they blend the cutscenes very well into the action of the game. They never seem like they overstay their welcome. Like, they always feel like they add to the set pieces that you're in, not necessarily take away from. So I feel
There's
like
also more gameplay than cutscene, and like
Yeah.
that's a new opinion, man. Back when
Yeah.
Uncharted was, on top of the world, people weren't saying this doesn't feel like a game.
no, there's definitely more game than cutscene, and I feel like the cutscenes are always added to expand on the game itself in some way, or introduce a new element into a chase sequence or something. And I think that Final Fantasy definitely could have learned some lessons from that, as far as how they could implement the storytelling they wanted to do and the epic scenes they wanted to do, and make it more interactive overall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I'm like, I will accept a 60-40 cutscene gameplay if the gameplay is immaculate
Yeah.
and the story is at least good. I'll accept that.
You're gonna be happy about it, but you'll accept it.
Yeah, some of these games are just overindulgent, man.
Yeah.
You ain't wrong,
But-
that's for sure.
Yeah. Like,
All right.
at least for now, like, I say that Final Fantasy 16 is a 9 out of 10, but who knows? Maybe with time, it might even go down, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll never give my
to
rating.
each his own.
I would say Final Fantasy 16 is an 8.5 out of 10.
It might go
Yeah.
down to that. We'll see.
I'm not even trying to bring it down. The point ain't Final Fantasy. It's just the conversation surrounded it got me to think about certain things. But you are in the lead with the bonus round, Beat. You got 1 point, so we'll see if that remains over the course of this event. Metacritic scores. Whoever guesses closest wins.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Funny enough, first one we got Final Fantasy 16.
85.
88.
Gunnm got that. It's 87.
Damn.
Yeah,
Duke
I knew
Nukem
about
Forever.
that one. Ooh.
You did.
60.
70?
Oh, 60. It's
Let's
54.
go.
60 was closer.
Let's go.
I should give double points if you guess correctly.
You should.
Okami.
Oh, 90.
92.
It's 92.
Let's go!
God damn it.
Why were you conservative with it?
I wasn't too sure. Wasn't too sure.
I knew
But
people
I
used
had
to
a
gush
feeling-
about that game.
But I wasn't too sure if it was like right in the low 90s or like right at
it
90.
was, I remember it being like right about an A.
Just so y'all know, in the future too, not that I want you to do research,
Yeah.
We're just doing this based off of the PC score by default. Like by
Okay.
default, if it's multi-platform.
Okay.
And the original release, if that isn't an option.
Yep.
Shadow of the Colossus.
88.
91.
Did you just look that up?
No.
It's 91.
That was
okay.
a guess.
Lord.
I had a feeling.
Hi-Fi Rush.
85.
89.
89.
Yeah.
It's 89 exact.
Let's
Really?
go.
Skies of Arcadia.
I don't even know what that game is.
80...
I didn't know if you would.
I have no
87. 87.
86.
Gunnm, you got it.
Damn.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Now, you came close, but not quite. Beet is victorious this time.
Let's go! Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
beautiful. That was damn close. That was neck and neck,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like that extra point really did it for me.
It helped. It helped. I think you beat him by 2. Yep.
All right.
So you get to decide what game we have to play, which I'm like,
No, my
I didn't
friend.
participate.
No, my friend. You get to decide what game we're gonna play. I cede my decision to my boy Dray Spectre.
Oh man, don't do that.
I done did it. I ceded.
So, all right, I have to be fair. I mean, I appreciate the trust, but I got to be fair here. So, how much time do you both have? That's the thing.
I've got until at least August 3rd to play and beat anything. If I beat
Play and
16,
something.
yeah, like I got at least that.
I guess I got some.
Look at you all sad now.
Oh,
I guess. Like I didn't have enough to do. You already know. Mass Effect.
Massive. Okay, let's go. I already own that.
already knew.
Done.
Mass Effect. Here's
Done.
why. Here's why. And I do beat. I think that's a good idea to set that like August 3rd-ish deadline because this can be an extended segment. So we could even do like separate videos. That's an idea I've been brewing for a while. Let's just do kind of like almost a game club-esque thing. You know, where we hit it, you know, we talk about it beat by beat. No pun intended. But that means you have to play Mass Effect, Gunnm.
I will play it.
Now, that doesn't mean you have to start today, but we do have to we have to set some expectations here.
Okay.
So maybe we set stopping points. Maybe you have to play a certain amount of the game before next week or the week after. I'm asking you. I'm trying to see your tolerance level because I want you to play it. Remember, if you play this, I play Xenoblade.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'll just play it, but
It's a 20+ hour game, so it's not. It's nothing you can't handle.
yeah, I can handle that.
All right.
It's just, I mean, I don't know how to do it, but I'll just play it. I'll just play it.
Yeah. Beat playing Mass Effect right now. No. he was excited. He was like, thank God. Yeah.
Time to give myself an excuse to play the Butchered Edition,
Which one is that?
the
Oh,
Legendary Edition.
it's really not even a big deal. Yeah, you ain't gonna
They
notice.
changed the game for no reason. I promise you I'll notice. There ain't no way I missed that 3 seconds of Miranda's ass. Impossible.
You'd be like, but here's the thing. I'm not gonna make a judgment on anyone's character, but I don't think it's gonna do more than stick out a little. Like, oh, I see what they did. You know, yeah. I don't think you're going to feel deprived of anything as a almost 30-year-old man.
That's true.
Like,
Okay.
But
I don't even remember what platform I had this shit on. I don't remember how I even got it.
yeah. All right, y'all. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Where can they find you?
Well, you guys can find me on Reds at Gunnm921, as well as Twitter still too, at Topics the Creator. Tumblr,
Reds.
Tumblr, Gunnm.tumblr.com, and Twitch. So twitch.tv/Gunnm21 and YouTube at Gunnm921. So, 5 socials now. So
And they just keep
plus the new one.
multiplying.
Yeah. You guys should make the threads too. I mean, links to your Instagram.
We'll talk about it. What about you, Beet?
Well, I'm not making the threads. I don't use social media to that extent as it is, and I don't think threads is going anywhere. I think the Twitter is going to continue to be top dog because it's got the name recognition and normies don't care about anything else. So you find me on Twitter. I don't even know what my name is, so I guess maybe you can't find me on Twitter. You find me on YouTube at Beatdown. You find me here on the Dap It Up podcast, as well as on Beat's Garden. And that's pretty much it. I'll have a kick soon. Stay posted.
You can find me at Goals in Fitness or Dray the Spectre on pretty much everything. But this has been a Dap It Up podcast. Until next time, play Doctor Strange. I hear it's a good game.
Yeah, certainly. When does that game come out, Beat?
Juvember 71, actually.
All right. Mark it on your calendars, guys.
Juvember.
November 2024. We'll have the review.
2024.
We'll have the review ready. All right. Later, y'all.
Bye.